Good evening, friends. I'm Stephen Ben-Nun. You're watching Israeli News Live, and as you can see on the screen here, this unrest has begun, and it is taking place all across different cities here in the United States. Uh, and of course, this is over the death of Mr. Floyd, George Floyd, whom police actually had killed, shown in the video there where the man actually died. Now I know there are some conflicting issues even regarding that video, and I don't know the answers to that as of yet. I'm looking into it. There are those that are saying that this was staged, and I've seen the video. I've seen the footage there of, or excuse me, one of the photos there of the police officer that actually had his neck on the man there with President Trump. And so I don't know the answers on that as of yet. But what I can tell you, if you remember, I posted this. I've actually said it on multiple occasions, but recently I kind of went deeper in depth about what intelligence sources out of Israel have been saying now to me for more than, I don't know, getting close to a year now, that they are going to bring about basically a genocide against ethnic communities. They want to start a civil war. I know this even from Pentagon sources, that there is coming a civil war in this nation. And unfortunately, we are starting to see these things in the early stages. And I got to tell you something. When I was told from Israeli sources there that they're going to target the black community, the Hispanic community here, basically in a genocide of these people here, I am definitely not in support of those ideologies whatsoever. I do not believe at all in any such thing as racial superiority or anything like that. We're all created in the image of God and we're created equal. But we are seeing the evidence now. Riots all over the nation breaking out. I expect it to grow even more. And another thing I'd mention to you as well, and that is you got to keep in mind is that people have been locked up for months. And I appreciate that, Joseph. He just mentioned Mr. Floyd and the police officer both knew each other. They worked together. I saw that as well. So I'm still working on these things, so I don't want to say a whole lot about this as of yet. But if you guys, those who've been around here for a long time, back when Obama was president, I'd shared with you how that one of his Secret Service agents had shared with me that they were trying desperately to create a racial war in this nation. That this was something that was going on since the Obama administration, and it was actually made to be able to disarm the nation. This was their whole purpose behind that. And he had shared with me then how that the black man that had set himself on fire at the Washington Mall in D.C., they were using mind control with that man, using the skull to brain technology, and as he mentioned, as was done overseas, and how that got the revolution started over there. But he said Americans just don't, you can't rile them up. Well, as I've been told too from inside sources from the White House, that there has been plans for decades, and that there were 16 different operations that they would do to bring about a new world order, a one world government. That includes the one world religion, everything like that. But the pandemic that we had, as notice, is plandemic, not pandemic. This was the beginning of those cases there. And then now we get this video released of this black man being killed, and just very interesting how they just willingly played that to the entire world like it's no big deal. Just, you can't but wonder, suspicion. And I actually seen videos on Twitter as well. Black people were posting showing this police officer coming out fully dressed, starting the fires. And he said, look, this was in Minnesota. He says, we're not even starting it. These guys are starting it. Yeah, kind of stands for reason, doesn't it? So, but again, think about it. You lock everybody up, put them on basically house arrest over a alleged pandemic virus. The people are really nervous. You know, it's caused a lot of anxiety and tensions to begin with, and then have something like this happen. Well, there goes your social distance right out the door, boy. You know, people are ready. They've just had enough. So, you know, I can't tell you guys enough. My friends that are listening here tonight, both are white people, black people, Hispanic people, you need to realize that this is a trap they're trying to set. I wouldn't get involved in any of it, because the more you get involved in it, the more you feed their agenda. They want this to happen. They want to bring about martial law. They want to lock down the nation so they can bring about this new world order. And everybody that gets involved in these things, you're just walking right into their agenda. You might think that you're doing something for this man that has, and I have to say, allegedly has passed away. I hate to say it that way, but you know, if this is a cover-up, or not a cover-up, but if this is actually a staged event, may very well be. Or if he actually was killed, you know. I mean, there's so many things that we just don't know the answers to right now. But one thing I do know the answer to, and that is they've been wanting to do this from the very beginning. And unfortunately, there's going to be a lot of black people that will lose their lives, because what's going to happen? What was it? Trump, I think, came out and said, somebody posted out there on Twitter that Trump said that, you know, you should shoot the protesters. I don't know if that's actually true or not. I need to see that for myself. But even if it is so, that's pretty wild. That's pretty radical. No, you don't. And I get a lot of people, you're texting on here now, George Floyd is not dead. I don't doubt that a bit in the world. Like I said, I've known this since the Obama administration. This has been planned. I know that President Trump has taken advice from Obama and Hillary both. This is all a New World Order agenda, friends. And every step that you're going to see is just in that direction. I hate to say that, but that's exactly what it is. And unfortunately, all these people, and I'll send you back here to the screen here again here, but all these people that are involved in these riots and things that are going on, guys, you are just being set up. I mean, you really are. You're being set up. You don't even realize it. Then there's shooting here. Obvious professional camera crew from behind the protest line is unhinged. Even, let's see, for a riot cop. I don't even know about this one here. Police in riot gear. So, yeah, they're aiming at the camera crew. Wow, interesting, isn't it? Why would they be aiming at the camera crew? Looks like a paintball gun they're using to aim at a camera crew there. You know, it makes you wonder. They just don't want anybody knowing what's going on. But yeah, the police are out in force. Next thing you're going to see is military on the streets, friends. This is what's going to come next. So, oh well. Oh well, what next? What next, right? Listen, guys, it's not good. Not good. Not good. Anyway, I'm Steve Ben-Nun. You're watching Israeli News Live. I still continue to work on the documentation that proves who the Pharisees were of 2,000 years ago, who the Maccabees were, who the Hasmonean dynasty was. Really, really fascinating information. So really going to learn some more here very soon. So hopefully by this weekend sometime, I will have that video up for you. Maybe by tomorrow night, I can get the last little details put together, and we can really expose who these being who's bringing about all this chaos is really what we should say. Who is bringing about the chaos in the world today? We are dealing with a reptilian agenda, and they're going to have a new world order. Jerusalem will be the headquarters, and I can tell you now that you're still talking about a very small minority that are the elite that are running this. Majority of your Jewish people have no clue that they're being led astray. And that was something too I saw in the Dead Sea Scrolls. They also recognized that the Jewish people of their days, over 2,000 years ago when they were writing this, that they had been led astray by first during the Greek Empire and then under the Roman Empire when the Hasmonean dynasty came in there, the Maccabees and stuff, and they were called, they literally took scripture that applied to the serpents and applied it to both those kingdoms. Both those kingdoms. Fascinating information. So anyway, listen, this is a late hour, friends, and we need to be, so many of you are typing in there now about praying and things like that. We do need to be prayed up every hour, every moment that we possibly can. And I do believe that they are successful in what they're trying to create here. They have no doubt created a false flag. And once again, I will say this, just like people that put on masks. You want to go out there and see how many people fall for the pandemic? Just see how many people are wearing masks everywhere you go. Now they put up this video here, which seems to be very compelling. And the people have just fell for it like crazy. I'm Stephen Ben-Nun. You're watching Israeli News Live. Good evening.